Hello and welcome from FICO World 2026. I'm Christina Robinson, the Director of Communications at FICO, and we are coming to you live from the Signia Hotel in Orlando, Florida, where we kicked this off. This is a big conference for us. We have thousands of people from across the globe coming all together with us. So we are here discussing trends in AI for financial services, fraud prevention, customer management, optimization, and so much more. In this broadcast, I'll be speaking with some of the thought leaders who have gathered here this week to discover the latest insights, strategies, and technologies for applied intelligence. FICO, well, we're a global analytics software leader, and at FICO World, we're showcasing the latest developments in FICO Platform, the FICO Score, and other solutions that power better decisions for thousands of firms worldwide. So first off, I'm very excited for this. I'd like to welcome Nikhil Bahel, President of Software here at FICO. A big day for us. We just kicked off. Nikhil, how are you feeling?
Fantastic, Christina. Thanks. Great to be here. Thanks for having me. Wonderful day. We're day one of FICO World 26. FICO World is usually the absolute best week of the year for the FICO family. It's our opportunity to have a dialogue and a conversation with our customers, and it's going to be a fantastic week.
So we talked a lot about the customers that are joining us, right? We have folks here across the globe. What is the one thing you want them to take away? We talked a lot about AI today. That was a big focus of your main stage speech. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, you know, we are in exciting times. I've lived in Silicon Valley for over 3 decades, for over 30 years. And I have seen a bunch of revolutions, for lack of a better word. The microprocessor and how that revolutionized the world. The mobile and social revolutions, and how we do so much with just our phones today. In fact, I can be pretty much fully functional with just my phone. And they were phenomenal. And you saw the adoption of those technologies accelerate over that period of time. But what we're seeing today with AI is unlike anything I've ever seen, at least in my lifetime and certainly in my 30 years plus in the Valley. The pace of change is incredible. If you just look at consumer adoption of technologies, it took 50 years for the telephone, for the TV. It took 20 years for the phone. It took almost 10 years for the internet to get to 100 million users. It took 18 months for what we're seeing today. In fact, ChatGPT got to 1 million users in 5 days. 5 days. Think about the adoption of that technology and how fast this is accelerating. The amount of content that's being created today is incredible. But content by itself is somewhat useless. You've got to be able to take out the intelligence from that content. You've got to be able to take out intelligence from the data and then make it functional so you can drive an outcome associated with it. And if you looked at the folks that were in the room with us today and beyond, a vast majority of them are experimenting with something to do with AI. But a very, very small percentage of them, less than 6% of them, in fact, are able to garner real outcomes as a consequence of the experimentation, the pilots, the investments that they're making. And in some cases, these pilots are costing them tens of millions of dollars. So the opportunity really is, how do you take the investment that you're making in this incredible time that we live in and have a real outcome that results from it? And that's really what we do. FICO Platform was purpose-built to ensure that we can put something productive and functional in the hands of our customers, so that they can take that experimentation, the pilots that they're running, and drive real results and outcomes as a consequence of it. It's about taking all the data that they have, the latent intelligence that they have, harnessing that into analytics, whether it's an AI-powered analytic or it's a predictive or prescriptive analytic, taking those rules, those models, those scorecards, and starting to actually put them into an operational framework so you can orchestrate them, you can put them into workflows, you can put them into last-mile engines that actually give you real tangible outcomes and results that move your business forward, that allow you to provide a more hyper-personalized customer experience for your customer. Every single time, every touch point, every single time that they interact with you, it should be something that is special, something that delights and surprises them, and creates those little magical moments that drives customer loyalty and something that they would never forget, while you optimize for your own business KPIs. It's just a beautiful time to be around.
It is, and there's so much opportunity here. And of course, one of the best parts of FICO World is getting to spend time with our customers and partners. So right now, we're very excited to welcome William Go, the Head of Strategic Partnerships at Centrelink. We're here to talk about fraud now, William.
Yes, thanks for having me, Christina.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
William, a question for you. So fraud is becoming more sophisticated than ever. One of your solutions is called the Identity Theft Score. Tell us more about it.
Yeah, so Centrelink's Identity Theft Score is really designed primarily to do two things. First, help institutions reduce fraud losses by accurately flagging high-risk applications and ensuring that institutions can act on that information. And then secondly, it's intended to improve and increase customer signups, right? So for good customers, by reducing false positives. Essentially, you want to be able to pass those good customers through the process without introducing too much step-up verifications that typically cause high friction and churn or drop-off. And it's also worth noting that, as a result of that, many institutions are able to reduce the costs associated with manual reviews with OpEx. Basically, by verifying more customers, you're able to confidently move them through the process, again, without introducing those additional steps or friction that customers hate.
That's right.
And talk to me about what is powering this technology.
I'd say there's a number of things that are powering our identity theft score. So it's data, it's also human intelligence paired with machine learning, and then it's the power of our mutual partners in the network. So when it comes to data, right, our models are actually trained and labeled by our fraud intelligence team of risk analysts. They label tens of thousands of applications a year. And we do so based on a very deep and precise fraud taxonomy that we've built, which allows us to be more accurate and not rely on the inconsistencies that sometimes come from the typical consortium model, where, as you know, institutions may label or define fraud differently from one place to another. So our own precise taxonomy, our human intelligence, so the individuals that are actually labeling these cases, allows us to really train the models to be the most accurate. And then when it comes to just ensuring that the models are always up to date, we have a full team of the fraud intelligence analysts as well as data science teams that are constantly QAing and ensuring that our models are the best. And we do so with a lot in mind, including the value of our partners who share emerging fraud MOs, emerging fraud trends with us, so we can always and constantly fine-tune the models to ensure that we're delivering the best product possible.
Yes.
And Nikhil, Centrelink's presence is evident on the FICO marketplace. What does that unlock for lenders on the FICO platform?
Yeah, great question, Christina. First of all, it's wonderful to have partners like Centrelink, participating in the FICO marketplace. FICO is the market leader for fraud detection and prevention solutions for financial services companies globally. Whether that's a credit card transaction, whether it's a debit card or an instant payment or an electronic payment of some kind, and so much more. Over 50% of the world's credit card transactions are actually protected by us. And our customers are using that platform on a day-to-day basis to protect their customers. Well, with Centrelink and the deep integration of having them in FICO Marketplace, we can have that available to our customers with a fully integratable, in almost real-time capability, so they don't have to go out and actually do a bunch of work to integrate it. We have already done that homework of making sure that as soon as you click purchase and or integrate into FICO platform, it happens almost instantaneously. We worked out all the back-end integrations to ensure that it is actually as simple as it possibly can be. And so they're focused not on things that they don't need to be experts in. They can stay focused on approving more customers, on reducing friction for their customers, on making sure that they're actually protecting that customer and protecting themselves as well from the fraudsters that exist out there. So it's a great value proposition. It's really about bringing, Centrelink and partners like them with FICO platform in an environment where it's instantly integrated. And so you're really working on driving the outcomes, and you're not spending your time and effort in something you're not an expert in, which is really technical integrations.
Speed, scale, simplicity, that's kind of the core themes that I'm picking up here.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so from fraud, we're moving to the next part of the conversations, and one of the things that really defines FICO as a global company is the caliber of organizations we get to work with every single day. We're talking innovators, forward-thinking leaders who are pushing the industry ahead from all across the globe. So many of these partners also share a common goal, expanding financial inclusion in meaningful and measurable ways. That's very important. And that's exactly what brings us to our next guest, joining us right here in sunny Orlando, all the way from Singapore. This is absolutely incredible. We have George Lee from Grab Finance. So George, you're the regional head of cards, unsecured lending, and Web3 at Grab Finance. Talk to me, you guys are a super app in Southwest Asia. You guys are also a proud recipient of the 2026 Decision Awards for Financial Inclusion. Tell us what you guys do and how you're able to deliver that at scale.
First of all, Christina, thanks for the question, and Nikhil, thanks for having us at FICO. So Grab is a leading mobility deliveries and financial services platform out in Southeast Asia. Now, the part of the segment we serve that you would consider underbanked would be primarily our driver partners and our small merchant partners that do work and sell on our platform, right? Now, when a typical lender looks at someone that earns from the gig economy, they'll look at the income and then they'll go 50% haircut, boom, reject, out the door. Now, we are able to serve these driver partners and small merchant partners because we can see the income that they earn daily from the platform. We can look at all their behavioral aspects on the platform, how many online hours are they driving with us, and come to a much richer, holistic view of the customer to make a credit decision. So that's how we do it, by taking a holistic view of the customer at a much more granular level than a traditional lender ever could.
The possibility. I feel like we keep saying the possibility because that's what this week is all about. Nikhil, why is it important for us, for FICO, to celebrate such incredible clients and partners?
Yeah, their story is incredible. They are a super app in Southeast Asia, and there's over 500 million people that are in the different countries that they participate in. And as William just said, if you look at the gig economy, it is growing incredibly fast. And these folks don't necessarily have the financial history or the depth of credit file that's available to them that would give them access into credit. And so, with them having a broader profile and having all this data that's available to them through their super app, they are able to go out and provide these folks that are on their app. And there's almost 40 million of them that have a very small presence from a financial perspective and really would not be able to get any kind of credit product, a credit card, or a small loan of any kind. And so they're literally changing lives because they're making sure that they can harness the information that they have in their app and responsibly, in a regulated way, provide some level of credit to those people that allows them to go out and do things that they wouldn't have been able to do so before. They might have been renting a car. They might be able to go buy one themselves and now become a business owner as they go on to their ride-sharing process and expand from there. They might be able to cater for their families by going out and buying a home that they would not have been able to do otherwise. And so this is just such an incredible story where not only are we helping them from an economic perspective, but we're literally changing lives at the same time. And that just got to make you feel good.
And I know that's something FICO as a company as a whole is extremely passionate. Financial inclusion, changing lives, expansion, right? Hearing that is just absolutely incredible. Again, we're talking about the possible. The possible here is huge. Nikhil, any parting words?
Yeah, no, I'm just incredibly grateful to be here. We've got thousands of our customers from over 65 countries that are visiting us and spending this incredible week with us here in Orlando at FICO World 26. There is just so much that we can do together. And as you said, the possibilities are limitless. The world is our oyster. And for the FICO family, it's incredibly heartening to see that the innovations that we're bringing to market are having real impact on their businesses and on their customers' lives. And really, at the end of the day, what more can we ask for?
Nikhil, thanks so much. Well, and stories like these really highlight what's possible when innovation is applied with purpose, expanding access and rethinking how credit can work for more people. And speaking of big moments, FICO World wouldn't be FICO World without some exciting announcement. And of course, this year is no exception. With that, I'm very excited. We have Julie May. She is the Vice President and General Manager for B2B Scores here at FICO. And Adam Yoxheimer, you're the Head of Partnerships at Plaid. Boy, we just came off of a very exciting main stage moment together. How about, Julie, give us a little preview of what was said.
Yeah, so Plaid and FICO jointly announced the availability of our Ultra FICO product available in partnership. So we started working on this a couple of years ago, and today we announced that it is live and available for customers. Ultra FICO is a score that enables us to actually use the base FICO score, which uses credit reporting agency data, and to layer on cash flow data in addition to that data to provide a better outcome for lenders and borrowers.
And Adam, Plaid works with lenders all across the ecosystems. Talk to me about what this next iteration of the Ultra FICO score, why is this the solution lenders are looking for right now?
Yeah, I think the base FICO score provides, if you will, a two-dimensional view of what the borrower potential is. 3 dimensions is what you get when you add cash flow into this. And so we think it's a much more powerful, much more holistic view of a potential borrower applicant in this case. And it allows lenders to have just a richer view of what is happening, allows us to expand access while keeping risk levels at the same point, and also kind of keeps them in a space where they can rely on their risk models that they built over the years with FICO and be able to use something that is still somewhat familiar to them, which I think is really important as we think about expanding this beyond early adopter stage.
Julie, when we talk about this, so we're talking credit bureau data and then cash flow. Talk to me how this is the next step forward in credit risk decisioning.
Yeah, it's the next step forward. Like, I think, Will Lansing, our CEO, likes to say this type of cash flow data provides additional caloric value. I like to say it's orthogonal to the credit bureau data, right? That's what my analytics scientists like to say as well, right? It just provides us additional views of the borrower. And what that actually means for borrower and lender outcomes is in 79% of the cases in the non-prime borrower segment, we saw the addition of this cash flow data on top of the FICO score would see 79% of borrowers would score higher. And so the outcome of that can be better pricing, more approvals for borrowers. Speaking to the point that Adam made, we also saw that lenders who want to hold their risk steady, their risk defined as the likelihood of default from a borrower, if they want to hold that steady, they can see 7% more approvals. So they can drive more credit into the hands of credit-worthy borrowers. So we're really excited about it.
More.
I
like that. That could be our slogan together. Adam, talk to me about Plaid's reach, because you guys have incredible reach and a footprint.
Yep. We've spent the last decade trying to reach consumers where they are in the apps that they are using as they're kind of on their digital journeys. And one of the things we've been able to do is we've been able to connect with over 150 million consumers in the United States, connecting their 12,000 from, we've got 150 million people with 12,000 banks or 12,000 financial institutions in the United States, and connecting them to 9,000 different apps. So that reach really becomes important as we have seen, we've built the trust over, and I think that's, again, kind of what we've been talking about and why this partnership, I think, is so important and powerful is both organizations rest on that trust that we have built over a long period of time to be able to deliver this kind of thing. And at 150 million people, anytime someone comes back, they are seeing a much more seamless experience, and that's why we're able to deliver this Ultra FICO model or Ultra FICO score in a much more, call it what the consumer expects today from their experience.
I love that. And let's talk about the future. Everyone wants to know the future. I'll kind of leave the question open to both of you. What does the future hold when it comes to credit scoring and cash flow underwriting?
Yeah, I think the future is endless, right? We talked about more. I think lenders are going to actually be able to qualify more borrowers. We are removing friction from the system together. The Ultra FICO score is scaled like the base FICO score, which removes friction for the lenders to be able to implement this. Plaid's scale associated with how many financial institutions they already have on their network, and the consumers that are opted in will remove friction from lenders adopting, and that will lead to more credit in the hands of borrowers. So more.
Adam?
More. I think that's right. And I think, Plaid is also not finished on our journey too. So we're also going to be able to, again, help that more story. 150 will turn into 200, will turn into 250. more people are using these digital experiences and becoming much more familiar with them every day. And so we're going to be able to power this in an even more seamless way as we go forward.
Well, hey, maybe next year at FICO World, we can be celebrating that 200 milestone together on stage, talking about it. Thank you both so much for joining us. Awesome talking to you. And that's actually a wrap here for us at FICO World 2026. On this Wednesday, we've covered a lot of ground and we're just getting started. So we're going to be back here tomorrow with more conversations, more insights, more from the leaders shaping what's next in financial services. From Orlando, I'm Christina Robinson. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you back here live tomorrow.